So in case you're wondering why I'm filming this from the car, I've got about a 3.5 hour journey to get to where I'm camping because of where I'm working tomorrow. So it's going to be dark by the time I get there. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about this place in particular. So after my last camp, where I had to leave it because it was just weird, the only other chance I've got to go camping is tonight, this week, because I'm away working all week and I'm in a hotel. And tonight just so happens to be Halloween. So I've not really picked a good night for it after the last camp. On top of that, the area that I'm going to, where I'm working, there's only really one place around there. It's got some decent woodlands where I can go camping. And it's a place called Cannock Chase. Now, you may or may not have heard of it, but in researching a little bit about it, I have camped there before. Nothing weird happened apart from some very unusual 65-year-old cross-dresser that was in the car park. But nothing odd happened. But in researching Cannock Chase, it is renowned as being one of the weirdest hotspots in the UK for unusual sightings, paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, etc., etc. So I'm camping there tonight, and probably not a good idea as it's Halloween after what happened in my last camp, but I'm limited on choices. I have no choice on time, and I'm limited on choices to wear. But since that last camp where I got freaked out and left, I have bought a trail cam and I've brought it with me today. So I'm going to put that up around my hammock just to keep an eye on anything that may be lurking around at night time. But there's a lot of weird stories linked to Cannock Chase. There's one guy, I can't remember his name, I'll put a link, or I'll put his YouTube channel up on the screen now, who lives in the area, and he does a huge amount of sort of specialist videos on Cannock Chase in particular. Now, Cannock Chase has a lot of weird, eerie, supernatural stories about it, but there is also one that is a legitimate, true horror story. Back in the 60s, someone was convicted of murder, and 3 dead children's bodies were found in Cannock Chase woods. And from the 70s, there started to get a lot of sightings of what they called the black-eyed child. There is actually a picture of it, which I'll show you here, that someone took when they were filming in the woods at night time. And apparently this child comes up in the dark and starts talking to people, but it has no discernible eyes. Literally the whole of its eye, including the lid, is just pure black, like a socket. There's also a graveyard there with 5,000 bodies, German, Austrian, linked to the World Wars and Civil Wars, that are buried at Cannock Chase as well. So I'm not really surprised it's a bit of a hotspot for sort of supernatural things. I'm not really into supernatural stuff. I find it interesting. I don't really want to camp with it, but as I say, I'm limited to choices at the moment, so it is what it is. But there has been UFO sightings, Slender Man sightings, there's been Dog Man sightings, even Bigfoot, ghosts, and lots of other things. There's historical ghosts going back to the sort of 1800s from the area, from murders and horrific crimes that were committed during that period. There's also a hill that dates back to sort of Celtic times, which was a ritual sacrificial hill where obviously lots of people were sacrificed to the gods, and apparently lots of ghosts and things roam around from that era. So it's going to be interesting tonight. So I brought my trail cam. By the time I get there, it's going to be pretty dark, so I'm hoping I'm going to have enough light to actually find my way through the woodlands to actually pitch up and get my hammock set up. But I will, next time I see you, I will probably be set up or setting up, depending upon how light it is. Right, I don't know how much you can see of me. It's taken me forever to get here. Traffic. The sun has set. And I'm going into the forest, so it's going to be dark. I've already had a weird meeting with a duvet rolled up on the floor. I'll show you that now. Hoping there's not a body in there. Fingers crossed. That's all I'll be meeting. Right, I'm going to try and find somewhere to pitch up. Right, I found an opening, or fairly open area, which obviously you cannot see on the GoPro. I'm trying to be stealthy, but it's quite open. There's a little field behind us there, but I found a couple of trees that look pretty perfect. So I'm going to pitch up here. I'm not going to film it because you won't see it, and I'm just trying to be stealthy as possible. So I'll bring it back in a bit. Bit weird, I can see something in the distance. There's an old lean-to shelter. And over here, like a big water butt or something. Don't know what that is. What the hell's this? God knows. Right, I'm being as stealthy as I possibly can. After seeing that weird little lean-to and wherever it was just across the other side of where I'm camped, I keep seeing lights through the trees, flashlights, whether it's someone or something in the distance, I don't know. But I'm being as quiet as I possibly can, so if I shut off, that's why. But tonight, I have brought along my new toy, which is a night vision trail cam. So I'm going to get that set up on a tree in a minute and have it facing across camp just to see what happens. This is starting to get weird. I was just about to start making dinner, and I can now hear what sounds like very large dogs in the distance barking. I can hear them now. I don't know if it's picking it up. But I'm more worried about dogs than anything else, because if an animal's going to find you in the woods, it's going to be a dog, and then either alert everyone to you being here or attack you, one or the other. Either way, I don't fancy it. Something was crunching around in the woods on the other side of my hammock earlier on. Sounded bipedal, but I think it was a deer. I think deer walk 2 legs at a time when they're slowly walking. And it was slowly crunching through, but I put the torch on. I thought, stuff stealth, let's see if I can see it. So I put the torch on full beam, couldn't see a thing, but it stopped suddenly. So I think it was a deer that saw the lights and just suddenly stopped. I switched the light off and then I moved and made a crunch, and this thing just went crashing through the bushes. So I think it was a deer because it was startled, and that was a weird thing about my previous hammock camp. Whatever it was that was making the noises didn't get startled by me moving around or getting out. There was no crashing of bushes as the animal, whatever it was, ran off. It didn't move anywhere. So there were a lot of pheasants around here when I first turned up. So I'm hoping this isn't a common haunt for poachers. But I've got a new cook kit to try out tonight. I'm not going to show you it in detail tonight. I'll show you it in the morning when it's light. Because I don't want to broadcast my presence here. But I've got a new titanium cook pot, which is very nice. It comes with a wood stove. The problem is I have not got a clue who sent me it. It turned up in the post. I don't remember having any conversation about it. So if you are watching, let me know who you are. But I've also got a fire maple, the volcano alcohol stove, which looks really, really good. So I'm going to do my cooking on that tonight. So it's a stove very similar to a Trangia, but a bit different. I'll show you when it's lit. Comes with a nice pouch. It's not the easiest to get out. So that's the stove stand, and you've got 3 little legs that pop out on the bottom. The stove sits in there, pot sits on top. So it comes with a nice little Ranger band, keeps it all together. You've then got a snuffer lid, which is also a simmering, so you can change the amount of power, the fuel that the stove's putting out, and then this is the stove itself. So you fill it in here, you've got a fill line inside it, and then you fill this little rim around the outside and light it, and that warms it up, and then the jets come out of these holes and through the top. I'll show you it lit in a second. Well, it's absolutely roaring, and there's only a slight breeze tonight, and a lot of the flames seem to be coming out the side. It's taken quite a long time to boil the water, but I think that the actual stand is too wide, because this is a big pot. It's a 900ml. It's a big size, bigger than what I normally use. It only literally just balances on the edge. I mean, you can see it is a powerful stove for an alcohol stove, but it's losing a lot of the flames out the side, and the stand needs to be narrower, so I might actually bend those edges in a little bit. Well, the snuffer doesn't work, but that was boiling hot. Right, apologies, I've not done too much filming tonight. I've been sitting here listening to some rather weird noises. I keep seeing little red lights in the trees at a distance. I tried filming it on my phone, but it just doesn't come out. You can't see it, and if you zoom in, it just then loses the brightness of the actual night light, if you know what I mean. So the night mode that's on the camera, it just won't pick it up. So but yeah, it's a bit odd. A couple of torches earlier on, it looked like torches, but then these weird red lights as well, and then that very odd sound, which it sort of sounded like pheasants kicking off, but then it had this reverb, and it just turned into a really eerie sound. Anyway, I've set the trail cam up, so that's sort of facing behind my tent. There isn't really much facing that way, because I'm facing away from everything, quite simply for it to be a bit more stealthy with the light and stuff. So we shall see if that picks anything up in the morning. But it's about 10 o'clock now. I've had my food, and I'm going to hit the sack, because I've got an early start in the morning, and apparently it's going to start pouring down with rain from about 5 o'clock in the morning. Perfect. So if nothing else happens, then I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Perfect timing. Just woke up. It's just gone 7 o'clock. And it's just started to rain. I was thinking I was going to get up and get packed up before it started. Sod's law. Oddly, now that it's morning, there seems to be a road quite close, which I couldn't hear anything last night. I think I've gone so deep into the forest, I've sort of come out past the other side, which is hence why there's this field area behind me. odd. Didn't see this last night either. There's these big posts in the ground. Very weird. And I've had a look at the trail cam. It's a very small screen. I haven't brought my glasses and I can't really see what it's showing, but it's picked up a few things last night. One of them was moving and I can't really see what it was, so I will stick it up on the screen now because when I get home I'll edit the video and I will bring it up on the big screen so I can hopefully see what it is. But yeah, I'm going to get a coffee on. So hopefully you can see this a bit better now. I can put a full-blown light on it. Okay, so the snuff will work that time. Last night it didn't seem to. I like the concept of the design of this stove, but the flame seems a bit manic. It's incredibly wild, and obviously you want to have it on full power as much as you can when you're boiling water. Just boil it quickly, so you don't really want to use the simmering to reduce that, therefore reduce the flaredness of the flame. So yeah, I'm not 100% on this stove. It's just a bit. I was just packing up while the stove was on, and I'm nowhere near it. But as I turned around, I saw a glowing ember of ash flying through the air and hitting the ground. Now, a gas stove isn't going to do that on its own. It must have caught something. So whether it's lit something from me or not by all the flames that are licking away, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't be happy using that in the vestibule of a tent. That's for sure. It's just a bit too. It's a bit too manic. Fire maple. I think needs to redesign this one. Right, so I'm going to check that the footage when I get back, and whether I'll put it up earlier or after this, I don't know. Okay, my battery is saying 27%, but it keeps on going battery low and cutting off. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.